Hi, everyone. It is FM99 Rock Girl Kristin, and I'm here with John Cooper of Skillet. John, I'm so excited to talk to you today. I have a buttload of questions to ask you.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's an actual metric. You know what I mean? It's like a scientific metric.
All right. Well, let's get into it. I know you had not your first album. I know you had your recent album, Dominion, come out recently. So I was just curious, we are a new feature on it with Finish Line with Adam from St. Asonia. Can you talk to me about that and why you recruited him and the process of making that single?
Yeah. Adam's awesome. His voice is just so great, Now, we toured together around 2008, I believe. It starts getting hard to remember the years, but it was around then with 3 days, and on this amazing tour, and they were just so cool. We got to be good friends on that run, or friends, I should say, and we've gotten a lot closer now because we've done so many dates. And we had this song that was actually from our 2019 release. Which is Finish Line, but the album came out 4 months before lockdown, and it just got lost. It got lost in lockdown. We should make up an album called Lost in Lockdown. I just made that up. Lost in Lockdown. It's like hidden songs. You know what I mean?
That's perfect.
Anyway, yes, I'm going to do that. Anyway, and so just the album didn't go anywhere because of that. And so when we were working all this, that song started all of a sudden streaming like crazy just last year. And I was like, why don't we just re-record it, update it, do a new version. Boom, boom, boom. It all worked out. Adam said he'd sing on it, which was so cool.
Yeah.
So
well, we spoke to Adam earlier today, and he had great things to say about the song and working with you guys.
Oh, that's nice
awesome
to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. Just a cool guy.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So speaking of Dominion, your album, I've noticed that in a lot of your songs, really in all of your albums, that you have a lot of uplifting lyrics. I know one that really stuck out to me was the Shout Your Freedom song.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the lyric was, "Look what you become, you're flying higher." So could you just speak to me about how you find that passion and that how you find that uplifting words to write? What inspires you?
Yeah, what a great question. I do think you're right. I think we're kind of known for that uplifting thing. I think we've always been a bit like that, and I think it's because it probably started because music meant so much to me as a young person. My mom died when I was 15. I fought with my dad, and probably probably every guy listening is like, yep. That's a tough time of life no matter what. But my mom had also fought cancer for about 3 years. So from 12 to 15 was a very destabilizing time. Music was there for me, and of course I'm gonna date myself. Don't look at me, you're too young. No, I'm joking. But there was no internet. It wasn't like you're up all night chatting with your friends online. It was nobody to talk to. Absolutely felt alone and not understood, and you weren't sure where your place in the world was. And music, you turn on Metallica or whoever, Skid Row. I love Skid Row. I wanted to be Sebastian Bach, man. Anyway, and you turn it on, and then you go, oh, these people, they know who they get me. You know, it was so therapeutic. And so music to me is a balm. I don't know if that's cheesy or trite for some people. Music's great for working out. It's great for driving fast, but it's also great to feel understood. And so Skillet has a lot of songs like that. I care for people. And I care for people probably specifically who struggle with mental health. That's something that I care deeply about. And lastly, and probably most importantly, is my relationship with God. I'm spiritual. I love to read the Bible. I love to pray. And I feel, at the risk of sounding, grandiose, I feel like it's a calling, it's a calling to write songs that can help somebody through a bad day. I met somebody just tonight. I just said hey to you in the VIP line with the band. Somebody came through the line and he said, your music saved my life,
wow.
And he's telling his story about the horrible things in his life. The music saved. That's an amazing
I'm sure that means a lot.
responsibility. I can't believe it. So I do feel that it's a calling.
Yeah, awesome. I love that answer. Well, speaking of, I know your faith has a lot to do with how you write music, as you just said. Can you speak about that overall, and how has that helped you create songs and what you really lean onto in your faith to just help with your creative processes?
Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe I'll talk about the Bible for a second. I know some people will be like, whoa, the Bible. People don't know how cool the Bible is. So if you talk about things with music, there's a story Probably most people know the story of David and Goliath. David, of course, at the time was a kid. Goliath is the giant, of course. It's such a great story, right? But David was a musician, and a lot of people don't know that. David was a very skilled musician, and so when he was still young, a teenager, Saul was the king, and Saul was being tormented by demons. Some people may, today you might talk about mental health issues. You may talk about depression, whatever it is that you're going through. But he called for a musician. He said, I need a talented musician to come and play for me to soothe my demons, if you will, to expel the demons. And in some ways, a lot of us can relate to that, probably. Yeah. And somebody said, well, there's this really young kid named David, and everybody says he's a really skilled musician. David comes and plays before the king, plays his harp, and the demons flee. That's powerful. So there's something powerful about music in the oldest of ancient texts, not just the Bible, other texts as well. And I know not everybody cares about that, but I guess what I'm trying to say to me is that the Bible gave me a picture of music that is very spiritual.
That most people won't realize if you don't read it or.
Yeah, I think that most people, when you say it, they go, well, I agree with that, but maybe I don't know why.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, yeah, but this is in ancient texts of humanity. You look back in history, and I know I'm geeking out, but if you look back in history, at every people group on the planet has songs that they sing to celebrate or to mourn. Isn't that really powerful?
Yeah,
every people group has songs for weddings. Why? Because it feels like you should. You instinctively know it. So music is power. That's what I believe, and that's probably what I draw on.
Yeah, I love that. And I can definitely see that with the way you write your songs. Like I just said, your uplifting lyrics. I can definitely tell that and how much it means to you.
Oh, good.
Perfect. Well, speaking of being a Christian rock band, I know in the past 10 years or so, you've kind of leaned more into the mainstream rock, just because of how much you guys caught on with that genre. So I was just wondering, how do you think you've accomplished that, and what do you think it might be hard for other Christian bands to break through, and if you have any advice for them for bands that want to break through?
Oh, great question. I've just loved doing music for people, and I never wanted to do music only for religious people or nobody. Well, I don't know if anybody wants to do it, but I certainly didn't. I'm like, I want to play music for humans. I don't care. I don't care what you believe, where you come from, and we have been really just blessed to do that. It's sometimes hard to get the doors open, especially we were from an indie label, and so sometimes you don't have the push behind you to get, especially to radio. You've got to get to radio, or you're never going to get this mass appeal. And we were just so lucky. A few people believed in us and gave us a shot. That's why that happened, and it was really amazing. My advice for people, I would probably, if it's okay, just give advice for all people, religious, not religious, whoever you are. If you say, I want to write music, or I want to get in the scene, how do I do that? I usually just encourage people. This is my experience. Maybe it'll work for you too. I don't know. No promises.
Disclaimer.
No promises. But just to be true to yourself, because I think that when you're real and you're authentic, I think people relate to that. And I think that people can see Skillet. Let's just say somebody's not religious at all, and they can see Skillet, and they might relate to that song, and they might feel it. They believe that I believe what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I think that's what I'm getting at, And if you were to go look at my playlist, on my computer, what I work out to, you would find mostly not Christian artists, and sometimes some people might say, well, that's not very Christian, or I can't believe you listen to that. And I'm like, why? That's really good music, and what I relate to it because they're being authentic. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I'm probably the biggest five-finger death punch on planet Earth, and they do have the most F words per second you've ever heard. But I believe it. I believe it. And I go to the gym. I want Metallica, Five Finger, Papa Roach.
That's some good workout
Saint
songs right there.
Sonia, Shine Down. We can keep going down the list. And of course, a lot of these people I do agree with a whole lot on. But my point is, if you make music that's authentic, I think people will believe you, and that's what people resonate with. And that's why I'm never shy about my spirituality. I'm not trying to make somebody think I'm something I'm not.
Yeah, and it's great that you've stuck with that, like, throughout the years of being Skillet. Like, we know you for that, and you don't hide it, and I think that's really great.
Well, that's kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, we're going to move into a little fun segment here.
I like fun segments. I'm fun. Let's do it.
All right, so this is what we call 8 questions in 2 minutes.
Oh, so I got to go fast. All right, because I'm so long-winded. Let's do it. I'm ready.
But they're just kind of little fun questions to kind of just get you thinking and stuff. So, little personal questions.
I'm nervous. All right, let's do it.
Okay, first one. 3 words or one phrase to describe your latest album, Dominion.
Uplifting, driving, passionate.
Very good. All right. Next question. Your current favorite song from another artist.
I like the Sleep Token, but I don't know what the name of the song is.
Can you sing it for us?
my wife keeps sending me these playlists, and I'll go sleep. I'm going to go one over that. I'm going to go for Papa Roach's because they're my good friends. Oh my gosh.
Cut the Line.
No, it's the one that's what he's like. I feel like I'm channeling something. That's what he says at the beginning. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know the song. I'm really bad at names sometimes.
I'm going to think of it. I'm nervous. I'm going to think of it in a second. Kill the Noise.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to go with that.
Okay. Perfect. All right. And what is your current guilty pleasure?
Music-wise or anything?
Anything. Whatever.
Oh, anything. Probably the TV show Frasier.
Frasier.
My son has discovered it, so we're watching Frasier.
Going on like a real rerun right there.
Yeah. Is that too cheesy?
Not at all. That's perfect. All right. So one thing you're looking forward to in 2024, whether it's personally or professionally.
Oh, my daughter's getting married.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to her.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's bananas. I don't feel like I'm near old enough for that, but maybe I am. Anyway, go ahead. I'm ruining your 2 minutes. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Favorite Skillet song to perform and why?
Oh, Rebirthing.
Okay.
That's my favorite Skillet song, period. And I think it's because it was our first song that people knew. It's like after 10 years. After 10 years of nobody knowing us, I was like, somebody knows this song. They're singing it. What does this mean? It was awesome.
Perfect. All right. Favorite tour tradition, if any?
Tour what?
Tradition.
Oh, tour tradition?
Yeah, like any
What is a good tour tradition?
Do you guys do like a chant before you go on stage, or is that?
Yeah, I think my favorite tour tradition is probably after the show. We always sit down and watch something together because everybody's so tired.
Yeah.
And my kids got used to it, and when they got old enough to stay up, I guess it sounds like a lame tradition, but
that's
it was really
awesome.
fun because the days, you're doing interviews, you're so busy and everything, and then you do the show, and at the end of the night, you're all together. You watch Frasier, and your kids are there, and you're laughing and having a good time.
Yeah.
Pressure's off.
Perfect. I love that. All right. And what are your must-have snacks while going on tour?
Oh, Dr. Pepper is my drug of choice. Yeah,
That's a good one.
I'm a fiend. Yeah, I love Dr. Pepper. And Ruffles potato chips.
Okay. Any kind of flavor?
I usually just like the plain. I mean, I like all flavors of potato chips,
Yeah.
but if I'm choose one, plain. OG.
OG? Okay.
I keep it simple like
All
that.
right. Hey, if it works for you, that's all that matters.
Yeah, or I keep it boring like that. My wife would say boring, but I say simple.
Hey, you like what you like. All right. Are you a dog person or a cat person?
Oh, neither.
Oh, no.
I'm crazy. I don't like animals.
Oh, my gosh.
But if I had to choose one, I'd choose a dog over a cat.
Okay. Do you like reptiles or anything like that?
I
Like
just
lizard
don't like
turtles?
animals. I don't really know why.
That's
People
all right.
get really upset. You're going to get comments. They're going to be like, what a jerk.
We'll cut this out.
He hates animals. I don't hate them. I'm just not really an animal person.
Hey, that's okay. Leave it for other people to enjoy.
My wife loves dogs, and my kids have been begging me for a dog. I got to get my kids married and out of the house. Go get your own dog.
There you go. Your house, your rules. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I had a great time. And ladies and gentlemen, John Cooper from Skillet.